right now.
Election night in Washington.
One nation divided votes in the midterm elections.
We're going to take back America.
If you vote, then we will keep this country moving forward.
The stakes are set here at home.
I think that it's time for change.
In Maryland, will the Democrats take back the governor's mansion in a historic win, or will a Trump-backed Republican win?
We're going to win. The vote's not going to go the other way. We're going to win.
Join us to make this Maryland's decade.
Polls now closed in Virginia and critical bellwether races.
There are two races in Virginia that I'm obsessed with.
We're one day closer to victory.
So I feel very good about where we are.
We're live with the results that could indicate the size of the red wave.
Mayor Bowser set to make history.
Plus, will D.C. voters change the way servers and bartenders are paid in the district?
Inflation, abortion, and fears about the dismantling of democracy.
Definitely a woman's right to choose. Dignity for all life.
The issues driving you to the polls.
We see inflation.
If we have a fascist regime, we will not have a government.
News 4's Election Night Special starts now.
It's election night in Washington, a mix of optimism, excitement, anxiety, and the intrigue of the unknown. All eyes are on Capitol Hill as the balance of power is at stake in our nation's government. Last-minute voters are still lined up at this hour. This is a live picture from the Civic Building in Silver Spring. Long lines there, it looks like. Good evening, and welcome to our special coverage of the 2022 midterm elections. News 4 and NBC News will be with you live all night as results come into our newsroom.
Now, polls closed about a half hour ago in Virginia, and just moments ago, voting ended in West Virginia. If you haven't cast your vote yet in Maryland or D.C., you're almost out of time. Polling places are open until 8 o'clock tonight.
Some big races that could impact the balance of power on Capitol Hill are right here in our area, including Virginia's 7th District, which encompasses Prince William County and areas south. Democrat Abigail Spanberger is fighting for her 3rd term in Congress against Republican Yesli Vega, who's on the Prince William County Board of Supervisors.
We're also closely following Virginia's 10th District in Loudoun and parts of Fairfax County, where Democrat Jennifer Wexton is running for her 3rd term against Republican Hung Cao.
In the Maryland governor's race, Democrat Wes Moore is running against state delegate Dan Cox, a Trump-backed Republican. If Moore wins the race, he'd make history as the state's first African-American governor.
And in the district, Mayor Muriel Bowser is expected to win her 3rd term, and several council seats are also up for grabs.
Leon Harris joins us now with a look at some of the big national races that we should keep an eye on this evening and how they could impact the balance of power on Capitol Hill. Hi, Leon.
Hey there, Doreen. Jim, lots of balls in the air tonight. Polls just closed in several battleground states. So let's take a look now at what's at stake tonight. There are lots to consider here. The Senate currently now is divided right down the middle, as you can see here, 50-50, with the vice president casting the deciding vote. So any seat that changes hands tonight has the potential to shift the balance of power. And there are many very close Senate races right now which could do that tonight. Here's a look at the 10 closest races that we've got our eyes on. Democrats currently holding seats in Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, Georgia, and New Hampshire. Republicans there holding seats in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Ohio, North Carolina, and in Florida. So if everything stays the same, as you see it here on this map, the Democrats will retain control of the Senate. But Republicans are hoping to flip at least one of these current seats. And one of their best chances to do that may be in Nevada. This is a race that's essentially a dead heat right now. And Nevada is a notoriously difficult state to poll to gauge exactly where things are trending. So if Republicans are successful in flipping a seat, that means that Democrats have to flip a seat that's currently held by a Republican. And the one that everyone has their eye on right now across the country is this one in Pennsylvania. That's where Democratic Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman is running against Dr. Mehmet Oz. Yeah, you know him as a television doc. This is what the House of Representatives currently looks like. 220 Democrats and 212 Republicans with 3 seats open. In the coming hours, we'll likely see if the balance of power is going to shift in the House. Many of these races are close, so it may be a while before we know if that balance of power is going to change. So there's lots to watch out for tonight. Doreen, Jim, back to you.
There sure is a lot on the line tonight, this election. Thank you, Leon. Now to Virginia, where we could see some of the first evidence of whether the country is in for a red wave.
Yeah, a key indicator is the District 7 race in the House. Democratic incumbent Abigail Spanberger going for her third term, but Republican Yesli Vega is giving her a tough run.
Northern Virginia Bureau Chief Julie Carey is in Fredericksburg, where Spanberger and her supporters will be watching those results come in. Hi, Julie.
Hey there. Yeah, the room here already filling up, results starting to come in. Like you guys said, the outcome of this wave is likely to be a key indicator of the strength of any red wave in Virginia. If Abigail Spanberger hangs on, well, then Democrats will take heart and they'll be celebrating here. But if Yesli Vega wins, then that will be a sign that that red wave that was kind of revived by Governor Glenn Youngkin a year ago, that is gaining strength. Now, we spent time in Stafford County today talking to voters there. There were two very clear motivating factors driving into the polls, and they sent them in opposite directions with their choice. Those we spoke with who cited inflation and the economy as their number one concern, they were lining up behind Republican Yesli Vega. They'd like to see the House shift into Republican control. Those who called abortion rights their top concern, they're backing Abigail Spanberger. Take a listen to what a few of them had to say.
Literally is down to who do you want in control. I'm not happy with a lot of the things that have happened lately, and so I think Vega would oppose some of the things that have happened recently in Washington.
I think that women should have the right to choose. Everybody should have the right to choose to do with their own body. And I don't think it's a thing that needs to be legislated. So I prefer to go with Abigail Spanberger.
Now here's a live look at the location where Yesli Vega will be gathering with her supporters tonight. It's a restaurant along the Occoquan River in Prince William County. It's the same place that she celebrated her primary victory back in June over a crowded Republican field. Prince William County, her home county, and a key county to both these candidates. 35% of the voters in this congressional district live in Prince William. Back to you guys.
And Julie, we're also closely following another race in Northern Virginia, U.S. House District 10. How is that race viewed?
You know, of the three races in which Republicans have targeted Democratic women to flip those seats, that's the race that Democrats feel most confident about. Jennifer Wexton, as you said, trying to seek her third term. You know, there hasn't been a lot of polling, though, so not a lot of really good guesses about that tonight. But Republican Hung Cao, a retired Navy captain, he has run a stronger than expected campaign. So we're going to watch that one closely tonight, too.
All right, we'll stay in touch with you throughout the evening. Julie Carey, our Northern Virginia Bureau Chief. Well, as voters continue to wait to cast their ballots, we're going to check in with Tracy Wilkins in Maryland's governor's race, where polls are open for about 20 more minutes there.
And NBC News political director Chuck Todd joins us live with a look at what to keep an eye on tonight. Stay with us.
Are we there yet? Almost. Because DraftKings Sportsbook is right around the corner, Maryland. You're on the road to betting legally on same-game parlays, spreads, money lines, props, and more. Anytime and anywhere across the state. So get hyped, Maryland. Soon you can start betting on all your favorite sports. Download the app and score $200 in free bets once you complete registration on launch day. So get ready to get in on the action.
At Giant, the change in season is a time we all love. These are the days we welcome back familiar routines. The days we make new memories with old friends. Or the days we enjoy those smiles that come once a year. It's days like these that bring us together. And great food keeps us there. At Giant, it's the little things, like bringing you all the flavors of fall you love. The little things are Giant.
Anyone who spent a winter in Minnesota can tell you it's a whole different kind of cold than a winter in Virginia. Which is why, unlike our competitors, Window Nation designs different energy-efficient windows specific for your region. Because Augusta, Maine isn't the same as Augusta, Georgia. So why should your windows be?
Excellent presentation, Aaron. Go to the head of the class.
I am at the head of the class.
Now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025. Window Nation, the perfect fit.
Every day, the sun rises and our water is clean. our packages arrive. And our lights turn on. All thanks to federal employees. And as a nonprofit association, you're the reason GEHA puts members first. All 2 million of them. Because everything GEHA stands for starts with you. GEHA.
Welcome back. As we noted, there's a little time left to vote in D.C. and Maryland, but the polls are already closed in Virginia and West Virginia.
Just about 19 minutes in D.C. and Maryland. Now the work begins for the NBC News decision desk. NBC News elections director John Lipinski explains what happens behind the scenes to make sure you get the most accurate results.
We're going to have a lot of very close races, and it's going to be me and world-renowned experts in data science and election tabulation research and election law, and we're going to be sort of pouring sort of nonstop in real time over all the election results as they flow in every national race in the country.
NBC News elections director John Lipinski. Now NBC News political director Chuck Todd joins us. Chuck, the polls in Virginia closed at 7. We talked about this last week. Remind us what you're going to be looking for out of Virginia tonight.
Well, just in Virginia, and what makes Virginia, it's really a pure test when it comes to the overall battle for the House. There's no statewide race driving turnout. It really is sort of these 3 key House races that have been the most competitive. Virginia 2, and Virginia Beach, Elaine Luria. That's the table stakes. If Republicans are going to win control of the House, they're going to win that district. Now, they may only win control of the House by a few seats, but that's one of the districts that they should be able to get if that's what's going to happen. So that's why that one is so important. Abigail Spanberger in the 7th Congressional District, a Republican victory there is a sign that maybe they're going to win and win with some space. Not necessarily a full-fledged wave, but something in the 15 to 20, 25 seats. That's what nationally Republicans are doing. The 7th should go there. If we have a real wave, if this is 2010, well, 2010 would mean Jennifer Wexton in the 10th Congressional District could lose. That is a full-on wave, and we know Republicans threw a little bit of money in there at the end. Kevin McCarthy, I think, spent perhaps the Republican choice for Speaker of the House. I think he campaigned with the Republican there, Hung Kao, today. So those are the 3. It's sort of small, medium, and large, if you will, if you want to test your sort of, Virginia 2 and only Virginia 2 for the Republicans, red ripple. Small wave if it's 2 and 7, tsunami if it's 2, 7, and 10.
Wow. Chuck, let's talk about the national picture. Turnout appears to be breaking records, and we've heard more in recent days about voters splitting tickets. Yeah. Does that tell you anything about the national mood this year?
Well, what's interesting, I would be careful saying that we have a lot of ticket splitters. There's more ticket skippers, Jim. Georgia is a great example of this already in the early returns. Herschel Walker is essentially performing in the raw vote about a percentage point less than Kemp, the governor, the current incumbent governor. That undervote, it means a lot of people voting for Brian Kemp in the governor's race are skipping the Senate race. You're not seeing it necessarily accrue. Well, what does that mean? Well, if you have a smaller pool of voters in the Senate race, and it means the path for Warnock to get to 50 and avoid a runoff is a little more manageable than if the entire, this could be a case where more Republicans voted in the state of Georgia, but maybe not in the Senate race.
Interesting to hear that. You're calling this election week rather than election day.
I am.
Is a week optimistic? When do you think we might know where things really stand?
Well, a week is optimistic if Georgia goes into a runoff.
Right.
Right. If Georgia's in a runoff, then control of the United States Senate may not happen until after Thanksgiving. This runoff is in the first Tuesday in December that it's scheduled for. So, that makes it election month, right? And some of the closest races out west, Arizona and Nevada and Washington State even, we're not going to have the results in those places anywhere from the end of this week to the middle or end of the next week.
Whoa.
The suspense will continue.
Yeah, buckle up and caffeinate up. Chuck, thank you for your insights. As always, we appreciate it. We'll let you get back to your reporting. We know it's going to be a long night for you. We'll be watching all your coverage.
You got it.
Polls are about to close in Maryland. At the top of the ballot, the race for the governor's mansion.
Trump-backed candidate Dan Cox against Wes Moore, who is hoping to become the state's first black governor. Our Prince George's County Bureau Chief, Tracy Wilkins, is live for us at Moore's headquarters tonight with the latest. Tracy?
Hey, we're here live in Baltimore where Wes Moore supporters are partying behind me. I can tell you that this hotel is packed. Long lines of folks making their way in here, people who are feeling very optimistic. But the Cox campaign is also feeling very optimistic. We've been keeping up with both candidates all day today as they've made their way around the state, making their final push for voters. Maryland gubernatorial Democratic candidate Wes Moore and Republican candidate Dan Cox were going all over the state today on Election Day. Delegate Cox spent most of his day in the Baltimore region. Moore started in the D.C. suburbs, then made his way to Baltimore and was at Bowie State University with President Biden just last night with lines wrapped around the campus. Both candidates are claiming victory, saying they feel very positive.
We're going to win. The vote's not going to go the other way. We're going to win.
I'm excited about the results because I believe deeply that the people of the state of Maryland are going to give us the victory that we've been working on.
Now, Dan Cox is spending election night in Annapolis, where his campaign headquarters are located. And folks here again are feeling very optimistic. So is Dan Cox. This has been a very long election for both candidates who have been making the push from opposite ends of the spectrum. Dan Cox, who is an extreme right candidate, who was backed by President Trump, who did fundraising for Cox. And then you have Wes Moore, who was a first-time candidate that has been garnering a lot of support from the blue. So we'll see exactly what happens. We do know that in terms of voting, the Democrats outnumbered Republicans in early voting. At 8 p.m. when those numbers start to roll in, we'll see what it's looking like now as of Election Day. Reporting live in Baltimore, I'm Tracy Wilkins. Back to you all in the studio.
All right, Tracy, we'll be checking back with you throughout the evening, too.
A lot of energy in that room for this early in the evening. Still to come, what voters say the most important issues are for them this Election Day. Stay with us.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the protection of Security Edge, and the most reliable 5G network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead.
Get started with fast, reliable internet for $49 a month for 12 months. Plus, find out how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying bundle.
At Jiffy Lube, it's our job to keep you moving. With a full range of services from oil changes and tire rotations to filters, wipers, and more, we've got what your car needs right when you need it, so you're ready for whatever's next. Putting you in the driver's seat of car care, that's a job for Jiffy. At Jiffy Lube, it's our job to make car care make sense. With personalized service reviews that swap the car talk for straight talk, so you know what your car is telling you and what to do about it. Putting you in the driver's seat of car care, that's a job for Jiffy.
Can a button work wonders in the bedroom? No, not the fun button. The other button.
Sorry.
Marcia has sleep apnea, and her struggles with CPAP had me sleeping in the guest room. Now she's got Inspire. It's a sleep apnea treatment that works inside her body with the click of a remote.
No mask, no hose, just sleep.
Now I'm back.
And we're back.
Come on, let's get it on.
Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Learn more and view important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
One night, and no one knows how it will end.
Washington's most experienced political team is working for you.
Breaking down historic races in our backyard and across the nation.
The issues shaping our community and your family.
With expert analysis and breaking updates from the team you trust.
On every screen.
No matter where you're voting.
In Virginia,
the district,
or Maryland.
Stay with News 4 and NBC News, your home for Decision 2022. We're working for you.
All day long, voters have been weighing in on local, state, and national elections that will have a direct impact on the future of our country.
And tonight, we are getting a glimpse of some of the important issues driving people to the polls. Sean Yancey joins us now to break it down for us. Hi, Sean.
Hey, Doreen. Hey, Jim. All right, so we're tracking some early exit polls that offer a little insight into how voters are feeling on this election night. This NBC News exit poll found inflation and abortion are the two main issues that motivated Americans to cast ballots today. As you can see there, nearly a third said inflation mattered the most. Abortion was a close second, followed by crime, gun policy, and immigration. Now, when it comes to the issue of abortion, the majority of voters said they were either disappointed or angry about the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. The NBC News exit poll found that 39% of Americans were angry about this ruling, 21% were dissatisfied, 21% were satisfied, and 16% said they were enthusiastic. And while the future of abortion access is on the ballot in several states tonight, more voters said abortion should be legal than illegal. Now, when it comes to how Americans feel about President Biden's policies, the poll found that President Biden fell short when it came to convincing voters of the merits of his administration's policies. Nearly half of the voters said his policies are hurting the country. A little more than one-third said his policies are mostly helping the country. 16% said they are not making a difference either way. And for the first time, midterm voters were asked about the state of our democracy. Look here, the results are eye-opening here. This exit poll found that 70% of voters think U.S. democracy is threatened, and just 27% said it's secure. Well, as you guys know, we have a long night ahead of us tonight. We'll be watching to see how these early exit polls translate into that balance of power up on Capitol Hill. Jim, Doreen, back to you guys.
70%.
Yes.
A lot.
Yeah.
Number. Sean, thank you. Up next tonight, we've got a look at the race for D.C. mayor, as well as a controversial ballot question.
The current energy crisis is about much more than global warming and pollution. It's almost 1 billion people living without electricity, an increase in energy demand by 30% over the next 20 years. And renewable solutions currently provide 12% of our global energy. So where is the energy that's needed now? It's American liquefied natural gas from Tellurian, the energy of now.
Energy demands are rising, and the effects are being felt everywhere. That's why at Chevron, we're increasing production in the Permian Basin by 15%, and we're projected to reach 1 million barrels of oil per day by 2025, all while staying on track to reduce our carbon emissions intensity in the area. Because it's only human to tackle the challenges of today, to help ensure a brighter tomorrow.
Are we there yet? Almost. Because DraftKings Sportsbook is right around the corner, Maryland. You're on the road to betting legally on same-game parlays, spreads, money lines, props, and more. Anytime and anywhere across the state. So get hyped, Maryland. Soon you can start betting on all your favorite sports. Download the app and score $200 in free bets once you complete registration on launch day. So get ready to get in on the action.
You daydream about it. The gift of a college education, maybe an early retirement. But when the daydream fades, you figure those things are for other people, because who thinks of the middle class as millionaires? At Kendall Capital, that's all we think about, turning your hard-earned money into things dreams are made of. Whatever your dreams, wherever they take you, our local fiduciary advisors will help you get there. Kendall Capital, serving middle-class millionaires.
Welcome back. We're already getting some results in from Virginia. Virginia House 1, the Republican candidate wins re-election there. Rob Whitman wins over Herb Jones.
And also our local Congressman Don Beyer, Democrat from Virginia, the 8th district. He has been re-elected.
Well, D.C. polls are about to close in just a few minutes at 8 o'clock, and Mayor Muriel Bowser is aiming to win a third term. Her opponents are Independent Rodney Red Grant and Libertarian Dennis Sobin and Republican Stacia Hall.
Let's go now to News 4's Mark Seagraves. He's got more on what a third win would mean for Bowser and more on a key initiative that D.C. voters are about to decide. It's been controversial. Mark?
Yeah, good evening, Doreen and Jim. Yeah, the party is set down here at Hook Hall in Georgia Avenue. It certainly would be historic if Mayor Bowser is able to win a third consecutive term. She'd be the first woman certainly to do that, and the only other person since Marion Barry. What will be interesting to watch would be her margin of victory, whether there's a large dissent vote, people who are unhappy either over crime or handling COVID, anything like that. So that's what we'll look for in that race. Initiative 82 is the question that voters will decide whether or not tipped employees like servers and bartenders in restaurants like this or nail salons or in parking lots, if they should get paid the same minimum wage as everyone else in the district. That'll be a yes or no vote for district voters. And then there's the at-large race, and this is really where something is up for grabs, because there are 8 candidates running for 2 seats, and 3 of those candidates are incumbent council members. That means at least one D.C. council member will not be returning next year. Doreen, Jim?
Hey, Mark, we have voted on this tipping matter before. Why is it back on the ballot this year again?
Yeah, Jim, that's right. Voters approved the same question several years ago, but then the D.C. Council overturned the will of the voters. Now there's a different makeup on the council, and most of the council members, even Council Chairman Phil Mendelson, who opposes 82, said this time, if it does pass by the voters, they will not move to overturn the will of the voters.
All right, Mark Seagraves, we'll hear from you later on tonight. Thank you.
Well, as the polls close and election results start coming in, here are 4 key things to know tonight.
2 Virginia congressional races are being closely monitored as people across the country wait to see if the results will help Republicans flip Congress red. In the 7th district, Democrat Abigail Spanberger is running for her 3rd term. She's being challenged by Prince William County Supervisor Yesley Vega.
In Virginia's 10th congressional district, Democrat incumbent Jennifer Wexton also running for her 3rd term. She's facing off against political newcomer and retired Navy veteran Hung Cao.
In Maryland, Democrat Wes Moore is vying to be the state's first black governor with support from former President Obama. The Republican nominee, Dan Cox, is a current state delegate. He's endorsed by former President Trump.
Nationally, one of the most critical races is centered in Georgia, as Chuck Todd just shared with us. That election could go to a Senate runoff if neither of the top candidates, incumbent Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock or Republican Herschel Walker, is able to get 50% of the vote.
We're still waiting for a lot of results to come in tonight.
It's going to be an exciting and long night. Polls are about to close, folks. You know, in less than 3 minutes in Maryland and Virginia. Of course, those still in line will get to vote. Thanks for joining us, but don't go anywhere. Election night continues on NBC News.
See you in half an hour.